And I think I tell my kids it's a 50-50 type of job. I take care of my 50 as a coach and trying to put them in the best position possible when it comes down to game time or practice. And then they do their other 50. We can't be successful as a whole if I'm doing my 50 and then they're doing their 30.
I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Coach Liz Oyervides right after this.
I'm Joe Martin, Executive Director of Texas High School Coaches Association, and I'm inviting you to join us at this year's Texas Coaches Leadership Summit on February 26th in Arlington at East Sports Stadium. You won't want to miss our outstanding lineup of speakers. We know this is the time of year that coaches and teachers sometimes get weary, and the Leadership Summit is a great way for coaches to be revived in their mission and reminded of their incredible impact that they have on their athletes and their community. As the signature event of our Texas High School Coaches Education Foundation, the message of the summit focuses on coaching beyond the game and into the lives of our student athletes. Don't miss our 2024 Coaching Beyond the Game winner, Coach Jack Alvarez, talk about coaching for a greater cause, and McKinney High girls basketball coach Debbie Harris giving you a plan for building a successful program. Visit our website at thsca.com to purchase your tickets. And as always, thank you for all you do for kids.
Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? It is the absolute best way to grow your brand, spread your message, and build your following. Fresh Media Works can help. We do all the heavy lifting, and you just focus on your message. To find out how easy we can make launching your new podcast, call 713-269-4620 or check us out at freshmediaworks.com. All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Liz Oyervides, hopefully I said that right, to the show. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I get to talk with coaches. What a life, right?
Right. You get the best life just like we do, coaching.
Exactly. So I want to get into the coaching life, but longtime listeners will know I like to go back to the beginning. Let's take a look at where you grew up, how you got first involved in sports.
Okay, so I grew up in Katy, Texas. I attended the Cypress Independent School District, and it really started for me in middle school. I went to Thornton and then graduated from there and went to Cy Lakes, got coached by great coaches. My varsity coach Coach Stingar was a big influence, and he still is a big influence. He played a big role for me going into my first coaching job, and so I'll forever be grateful for him. But I just fell in love with the game in middle school. My middle school coach was really the one that got me going and really, fired me up. Coach Holcomb in 7th grade just introduced me to the game, and I loved it. And I don't think I have stopped loving it yet.
What all sports did you play in high school?
In middle school, in high school, I only stuck with basketball. Now, I do regret not playing soccer or softball. Both coaches reached out to me a couple of years and just said, "Hey, come try out." And I was very stubborn, but that's definitely something that I tell my kids now to have an opportunity to be a multi-sport athlete. Yeah. Even especially their freshman year, it's a year where they can explore and see what they're good at. And I think I kind of messed that up in high school. But basketball was my thing, and it has been since.
Nice. Talk about, first why you chose A&M, and then what that was like at the university. Yeah.
So the reason I went to school at A&M, I actually attended a team camp hosted by the great Gary Blair. And so I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with just the atmosphere. It definitely felt like home to me. And so after that, I told my teammates that that's where I wanted to go. I just fell in love with the campus, and it felt like home to me. And I knew going into the university, I was not going to play. I knew I wasn't going to like play at the collegiate level, but I knew the sports atmosphere of things was going to be very big for me. And so I knew that was something I wanted to be part of, even as a student.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go with that. And in my 4 years there, 3 from my sophomore year through my senior year, I got the opportunity to kind of start my coaching career in a sense. There is a organization in College Station, their homeschool program, Aggieland Homeschool Athletics, and they gave me my first opportunity as a varsity assistant my sophomore year through my senior year. And so the biggest thing that I tell people is I needed to get myself into a coaching role to see exactly that's what I wanted to do. And so when I went to work for Aggieland Homeschool Athletics, it was on a volunteer basis. So to me, as a college student with a little bit of money and still doing what I loved, and I loved it even without getting paid, that gave me a big sign of, hey, this is what you're called to do. And so even now, now that I have a job in coaching, I don't even really think about the money. I don't even really think about when I get paid because I just love what I do. And so I think if it wasn't for homeschool athletics for Aggieland, I think I came in with my first year with a few, 3 years of experience under my belt. So it wasn't like everything was new, but obviously there's changes on the schedule and how practice works at the homeschool level than what it works in the public school level. But other than that, coaching is coaching regardless of where you go.
Yeah. So you knew pretty early on, hey, I'm going to be a coach, right?
I want to say by my senior year of high school, I had that set. At the beginning of high school, I said I was going to be an architect, and then I kind of went through a few injuries that got me through PT, thought about doing athletic training. I was actually a student athletic trainer my senior year because, again, I wanted to see if that was something I liked. And then I just knew I couldn't stay away from the game. And so what not better place to do it than on a court coaching kids.
Right on. And so after college, what was your first coaching gig?
My first coaching gig, and still where I'm at Bridgeland High School in Cy-Fair ISD, so I got the opportunity to come back home, and that was big for me. That was always like a dream of mine, being able to coach in the community that saw me grow. And so I started here back in 2019. In the fall of 19, I graduated in the May of 19, and I've been here since. This is my 5th year coaching here at Bridgeland. I've been coaching 5 years. All 5 years I've been basketball, and then the last, including this year, past 3 years I've coached volleyball as well.
Got it. And is it the same position each time, or have you moved, I guess, who you're coaching and what level?
Yes, I have. There has been some changes. My first 3 years, I coached the freshman team, and I was assistant varsity. And 2 years ago, I got promoted to being the JV coach and varsity assistant. And so now with the volleyball, I just did freshman B, and I assisted at the varsity level as well. So for the most part, freshman was what I've been working with for the time that I've been here. But it's been cool to have some of those freshmen, especially that last freshman basketball group that I had, to be able to see them and continue to grow with them has been really cool.
Right. Now, I talk to a lot of old-timer coaches, right, ones who have been doing it for 20, 30 years, and they tell me that at some point the focus of the game or the job shifts from, wanting to win and worry about the strategies and the mechanics of the game to those relationships with those kids. Have you seen that develop already in your career?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big players coach, and I know, like you mentioned, like some coaches from the beginning get so focused on X's and O's and wins and losses. But coming in, I really never really had that mentality. The success that I've had has kind of developed through the relationships I've had with my kids. And I've seen the difference between those that, I don't know, or programs maybe that don't have that relationship versus when you see a program that has relationships with the coaches and their kids. And I think I tell my kids it's a 50-50 type of job. I take care of my 50 as a coach and trying to put them in the best position possible when it comes down to game time or practice. And then they do their other 50. We can't be successful as a whole if I'm doing my 50 and then they're doing their, 30. So I remind them of that. And I think I've been able to establish really good relationships with my kids. And I think like I said, it has reflected on the success I've had so far.
Excellent. And talk about the Texas High School Coaches Association. I'm assuming that you joined immediately when you got into coaching.
I mean, you just mentioned Texas High School Coaches Association. It brought the biggest smile to my face because I'm just so grateful for them. Yeah.
Amen.
I actually started being a member way before I even got into coaching through A&M. I was part of the coaching academy. And so Dr. John Thornton, from the beginning, he told me, hey, like, you need to get into this association if this is what you want to do. And so I was very thankful for the coaching academy because they sponsored me 2 years in a row to have a student membership. And as a student, I was still able to go and attend, and I was also a liaison for the coaching academy to kind of promote what we were doing. And so I've been going since 2018 to coaching school. And so, for me, it goes way back of how big of an impact it has had on me. And especially these last couple of years, man, I have met some of the best people in the state, some of the best coaches, some of the best administrators. And it has opened so many doors for me, relationships wise, like we were talking about. I call them, I was talking with Libby Pacheco the other day, and I remember, when she first stepped in her role, I was starstruck because to see a woman in that type of leadership in our association was big for me, especially her being, Latino just like I am. And so that really inspired me. And now, I can pick up the phone at any time and reach out to her or shoot her a text message. And it's just been really cool to see that relationship develop. Not only with her, but with Joe and Brian and Glenn, because they have done a really good job, moving the association forward.
I love that, and I agree on all counts. Those are all great people. Because I get a smile every time one of them is mentioned.
Right.
So talk to me about those influences, those people who have played a role in either shaping you as a coach or helping in your career. Who are some of the big influences?
Some of my big influences as of right now, man, there's so many great people that I've been surrounded with, especially the last couple of years. I'm part of the ROC program, the ROC mentoring program, and my first influence for sure is my mentor, Dr. Sylvia Salinas. She's the athletic director over at Del Valle ISD. And if it wasn't for association, first of all, I would have never met her. I remember seeing her on Twitter before our mentorship program, and I was like, man, she does some great things, and I want to be just like her. And little did I know, the association would pair me with her as my mentor. And so seeing her again, just like Libby, a Latina, doing great things in the sports administration part of things, she has a big influence on me, and I'm very grateful for her. Another one that probably has nothing to do with, what I coach, because she coaches something different. But Amanda Wolf, man, if I wouldn't have Amanda Wolf in my life, I don't know what would I be of myself, because even though I've only, had a really good relationship with her since coaching school of last year, she has helped me so much. She keeps me grounded. She tells me the things I want to hear, that I need to hear. But she's always encouraging me. And she, if you know her, she's always telling people to dream big dreams. And so she inspires me to do that. She sees things in me that I don't see in myself. And so that really propels me to keep moving forward and working hard in what I do, and kind of follow her example as a leader, as a coach. And she's always about her kids. She's always about serving, and that really aligns with my mentality as well.
Excellent. Yeah, and you mentioned the Rock Mentoring Program. For people who, I can't imagine, but have never heard of it, or people who have seen it in some of the advertisements and wondered what it is, kind of walk us through that.
The Rock Mentoring Program has been a life changer for me. It has been one of the best, I say gifts, because it wasn't something that I went and bought. It wasn't a membership. I was selected. I was very grateful to be selected to be part of the second Rock mentoring class. So the way it works, Texas High School Coaches Association pairs up some of the most talented young coaches in the state, and they pair them up with a mentor who has been in the profession for a while, has done sports administration, related with our coaches. One big thing that I've noticed and that I think has made so much of a difference in not only in my class but the other classes as well is the pairing of the mentor typically has something in common with us as mentees. And so, like I said, in my case with Dr. Salinas, her being Hispanic, myself being Hispanic, it's very rare to see coaches in the profession who are just like us. And so to me, it was very cool to be able to talk to someone that has had similar experiences as me and be able to walk through that and then apply them to what coaching in our coaching life is. But it has been one of the best things that the association has come up with. I know it has become even bigger, and I really hope that it continues to grow, because there are statistics out there that there are coaches who are leaving the profession, and young coaches, really good young coaches that are leaving the profession. And I know there's a lot of things that influence that. There's long hours, there's, sacrifices that need to be made. Maybe some of them don't feel appreciated or taken care of at their campuses. But those are the coaches, including myself, that have, the future to be great coaches, like the great coaches that we have in the state.
Excellent. And I guess what were some of the surprises that you discovered that coaching really is versus what you thought it was before you started?
I think it's the bigger picture. I think it's the overall purpose that we have and the purpose that we serve our kids, because I've always had the mentality I'm not going to lie to you. The first couple of years, it was my very first year was COVID year where everything got shut down. And so that definitely gave me a big, reality check of how much I love and I appreciate my profession, because overnight I couldn't see my kids anymore. Overnight we couldn't work out anymore. And so it definitely gave me a sense of appreciation for it. But I think in my perspective is, how can I as a coach not necessarily be the perfect coach for them, because I'm also a human being and I make mistakes, but how can I make them better, young women as they leave our program, as they leave high school? And so I tell my kids, you're never going to remember what your levels of wins and losses in your season records, or those are things that they're not going to remember. They're going to remember how myself as a coach and their teammates made them feel, and the memories and relationships that they get from it. And so I tell them, I use myself as an example. If I go back to high school, I can't tell you what our record was unless I go and look it up on MaxPrep. But I can tell you, some fun things that we did at tournaments, or certain things, how empowering some of my coaches were to me, especially my freshman year. My freshman coach just gave me that confidence that I could literally do so much, and she still does to this point. Just the overall picture, what I want to do is make sure that whether it's just 1 year that I get to coach them, or 3 years, which have been in a few cases for me this year, I want them to leave better than how they entered my team in our program. Because at the end of the day, that's they are our future, and I don't need them to be basketball players and go play in the WNBA. I want to get text messages, phone calls, and say, hey, coach, I became an engineer, or hey, coach, I'm doing, some great things. That's the way how we get paid, because some of those things are just priceless to us.
Yeah. A lot of coaches tell me that their checks are cashed 20 years later with these kids.
Right.
I love it. So if you were talking with a young person, maybe a player who's considering coaching, what advice would you give him or her?
I think the biggest one that I've learned in the past 5 years that I've been coaching is really finding ways, or finding time to take care of ourselves. I know in my case, this is my third year, going from August through February nonstop. And so it has brought me, to really have a stop, or, just my mentality of I can do this has backfired on me. Right. It's something that it's a profession that, yes, there will be sacrifices made. There will be times where either you don't want to wake up early for practice, or you're just know you have a long day after school. But taking care of ourselves is a big thing. It's a big deal. And we can't just stop when we burn out. We need to find a balance between our profession and our home life, because I don't think it's fair for our family and our friends to suffer just because of our profession. Because at the end of the day, if, one day I get fired, someone else is coming in and taking my spot. But my family is my family, and my friends are going to be my friends. And so I only get, one of them, and I can get many jobs throughout my career. And I think that would be the biggest thing for me to tell them. And then I would squeeze another one in there and just tell them to be patient with the process. Be patient with the process and work where their feet are, because some coaches, they walk in first couple of years and they just want to take a whole big jump to the next level. Because I even include myself on that. But I've been able to mature and really see the growth that I've had in the past 5 years just by doing my work, just by learning from my head coaches, even learning from colleagues. Just because I coach basketball and volleyball doesn't mean I can't get something from softball. And so I love to kind of pick brains in the office. I'm very thankful to be in an office of women who support each other and who are always there for each other, not being worried about bouncing ideas. And then you can just grab that, grab something from softball, grab something from soccer, from track, and just kind of make it your own. But definitely trusting the process and working where your feet are, and then definitely taking care of yourself and your loved ones.
I love that. Coach Liz Oyervides, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, telling some of your story and your inspiration. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so I appreciate you taking time to have me, and THSCA for inviting me as well, because Coach O wouldn't be Coach O without the Texas High School Coaches Association.
The interviews in this show are brought to you by the Texas High School Coaches Association. THSCA provides to its more than 26,000 members access to the people, events, tools, and resources to help them thrive in the profession, become trusted leaders in their communities, and live balanced and successful lives. The work and sacrifice coaches do every day is vital to the development and success of student athletes. The THSCA supports these efforts. We fight for every coach, provide them with the connections and resources to improve their lives, and help all student athletes throughout the state enjoy lasting success. The mission statement is simply this: to help and serve Texas high school coaches as they work to help and serve student athletes. Helping coaches help kids. For more information on the THSCA, visit www.thsca.com. Hey, of course, I want to thank our guest, but I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for giving me what I consider the most valuable thing you can give, your time and your attention. And I know you don't do it to hear me. You hear it for the great messages provided by the THSCA. And hey, if you'd like to associate your company with the THSCA and the Coach's Call podcast, limited sponsorship opportunities are available. You can reach out to me, Chris Daly, 713-269-4620, or head over to my website, freshmediaworks.com. Once again, thank you so much for supporting Texas high school coaches. Please share this show out to everybody you can so that we can help share these important messages. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time on The Coach's Call.